This is going to be a nice, short, quick video breaking down the 3 hour per week split that built my physique and allows me to progress weekly. I've been running this probably past year and a half, and I've seen the most gains, the most progress, and overall it works with my lifestyle, so I can do the things that I enjoy outside the gym and progress in those, develop myself in those areas, like my relationships and now my fitness coaching business, without living in the gym and having that take over my entire life. So let's get started. And as I funnily called it, the 3 hour workout week versus the 4 hour work week, which is a book which kind of breaks down the same principles of my own philosophy and training, which is keeping it efficient, 80-20 rule, doing 20% of the things that cause 80% of the results, which is what I try to strive for in my own training. Doing the things that give you the maximum benefits with the minimum fluff and all that stuff. This was my physique after a year, 8 months of training, 5 to 7 days a week, 2 hour sessions. And in reality, the only gains I got from the gym, from this to that, of course, the newbie gains and whatnot, but also I was running track and cross country in high school when this photo was taken. And I was doing 50, 70 mile weeks. And between these two photos, I was eating about the same amount of food, and it's pretty much a similar diet, which was clean foods, mostly whole foods, but it just wasn't enough to be fueling me for the gym and for the amount of recovery my body needed after working out that much. That the only gains I really got were just from running less rather than actually working out and whatnot. I mean, look, it's really not that big of a change. And it wasn't until I started lifting the way I do now, which I lift 3 days a week on days where I know that I can lift, that work with my lifestyle versus against it, that I've built the body of my dreams and attracted my dream woman who's going to be my future mother to my children. So, definitely a lot happier than I was back then. I've got the body that has really honestly changed my life in a way that you may not think. It's giving me the confidence to start this YouTube channel, my social media pages, and now my fitness coaching business. And the discipline has carried on. It showed to my now girlfriend Gabby when I first attracted her, a year and a half ago. She saw in me, I didn't really have much back then, even less than I do now. Even now, I'm not super successful or anything like that just yet. I'm building that. But what she saw in me was the ambition, the drive, and the goals that I had, and the discipline that my body showed off. When you build the body that you want, the proof is undeniable that you are somewhat of a hard worker. You're not just on your ass all day and being lazy. You put time and effort into building your body. And when you're like me and you spent 8 months to a year lifting the way I did, 5 to 7 days per week, 2+ hour sessions, and your body ended up looking like that, that is a crushing feeling as a man, putting all your effort into something and having not much really come out of it. So in this video, I'm going to break down my split that got me the results with less time. I'm able to enjoy my life, whether I'm on vacation or back at home. And overall, it's just more time efficient, and it's minus all the fluff and the bodybuilding propaganda out there. Because if you aren't a bodybuilder, you don't have to train like one. You don't need these super high volume, crazy sets and whatnot. No, you don't need these crazy workouts. Especially if you haven't been lifting for that long. I've only been lifting for 3, 4, going to 4 years pretty soon, and I'll see guys out there who are just starting out in the gym, and they're already asking oh, maybe I should do all these crazy isolations and stuff like that. No. If your goal is to build an attractive body, follow this split. I mean, that's really all that it takes. It's minus all the fluff. It only takes 3 hours a week. So first off, let me just go over the movements that I do. So you can just go into the gym without any sort of plan, but what that's going to do is, sure, you might be training hard, going at it, going to the gym 5 to 7 days a week. But if you don't have a set plan in mind, or if you are following a plan and it's not really optimal, or there's too much going on, it's going to be hard to follow and progress at. So the goal is to keep things as simple and consistent as possible. So what I always put into my plans is I make sure that there's always a squat, that there's always some sort of a deadlift. Right now, I'm running the Romanian deadlift because I've come to realize that after the past couple of years of just doing deadlifts, normal, conventional, that it just takes so much energy out of you. The squats do so too, yeah, but lately I've been minimizing them down to 2 sets versus the normal 3, and I've realized it's not really that much of an effort when it comes to recovery. And instead of having to spend all this time doing like these like crazy like exercises like half squats and lunges and all that stuff and leg extension machines, I'm willing to risk, a little bit of like rest, like recovery, or like being a little bit more sore than usual, if that means just doing one movement versus like 5,000 different movements that these bodybuilders always propagate. So if there's anything you're going to do in your lower body days, at least keep a squat and a Romanian deadlift. I personally like the front squat, and the front squat variation that I do is the Xerxes squat, which is when you put like the barbell in like your elbow crease and you squat down. It kind of hurts in the beginning, but your body gets used to it over time. And recently I've been using like long sleeve jackets and sweaters to like kind of like cushion my elbow crease, like this one right here, taking the gym, and it's pretty much just fine. Back squats, I used to do them, but I just don't like them. They don't feel good. If my arms feel weird in this like backwards like position that you're putting yourself into. But don't let my taste take away what you like in the gym. Find what movements work for you and your unique body and your unique anatomy and whatnot, and run with it. Because the whole goal of the gym isn't to be the most optimal. The most like what I'm trying to say is that you want to keep the gym fun, right? If you don't like an exercise, don't do it. But there's movements out there that you should be doing, and there's like a bunch of different variations that you can always try. So these aren't the only 2 squat variations, of course. There's many more that you can go check out online. But at least have your workout plan include the ones I've listed that aren't labeled as optional. The lunge I put as optional because you don't really have to focus on growing your legs. Just get it to a point where it's nice and proportionate. And I found that, at least for me, squats and Romanian deadlifts are enough. You just don't want those like weird like chicken leg look. But so that's why I only really include like squats and Romanian deadlifts once a week, because like now in my training, so like I'll hit these like, I run a 3x full body split. I'll talk about them more later on once I get down with these movements. But so I hit this on like one day and that another day. But if you're doing like an upper lower split, you can do like 2 upper days and 1 lower day at the very least. Because as long as you hit your upper body twice and your lower body at least once, you'll build a proportionate physique. It doesn't really matter like what split you're running, as long as you're doing 2 by upper body days at the very least, and at least 1 by lower body day. Lower body, I mean, that is like the goal is to build like a lean, attractive, strong looking body, right? So you don't really have to focus on getting like these like massive tree trunk legs. You want them to be proportionate and toned, and then you can focus on like getting like the upper body to where you want to be. And upper body. Now it's time for upper body. Here's the movements to include. First, we got, of course, you guessed it, the bench press. That'll work like your chest, your triceps, your shoulders, like the front delts especially. I would include a flat and a incline, but if you're only going to do one variation, at least include an incline, as you'll get like that nice like armor plate like chest look. You'll see a lot of guys out there who only do like push-ups or like bench press, like the flat, and their chest looks a little bit like saggy. It's not that attractive, but if you can only do flat, it's better than nothing, right? Overhead press. Just again, choose any sort of variation that you like. Dumbbell, barbell, doesn't matter. Just again, the whole point is to find stuff that you like, that feels good for you and that you would enjoy going to the gym for. Don't listen to like the science-based lifters. Don't listen to the bodybuilders. Just pick what you like. I personally love the barbell one. It's just fun to do. It feels badass putting it above your head and whatnot. And then we've got, I am getting a cell phone call. All right, where were we? My girlfriend's meeting that I had to go pick her up from on campus went from like 40 to 60 minutes to 15 minutes, which is a big difference, but that's okay. Anyway, back to it. I believe we're talking about the overhead press. Yeah, I usually do like the barbell press, but again, pick your favorite variation. It's gonna work your shoulders, your triceps, and some say the upper chest, but I'm not sure if that's true or not, but work for the shoulders. And also, it's just cool to be able to lift heavy shit above your head at the same time sometimes. Pull-ups, chin-ups, lat pull-downs, that's going to work with your back muscles, your lats, your upper back and whatnot. And if you do chin-ups, that can work up your biceps a little bit as well. Just pick what you can do. Like, if you can't do pull-ups or chin-ups, do lat pull-downs and do like assisted pull-ups as well if you want to work up to these. Highly recommend getting these down, because if you can work out anywhere you want. So like if you're like on vacation, you can go find like a ledge and do pull-ups or chin-ups on. So but you can't always have like a lat pull-down machine somewhere, right? Like you're not always going to find one. So if you can get these down, you're going to unlock a new tool, like body weight workouts. Rows, rows, rows. Pick any that you like. Barbell, dumbbell, machine, doesn't matter. Also works your back as well. Abs, keep these simple. I know some people like to do cable crunches. I personally don't do these, but knee raises, leg raises, you start off with these and progress to these. That'll work like your lower abs. I don't know why that's not being listed. It's only showing your hip flexors, but they work your lower abs. Your upper and middle abs are kind of hit mostly through your lifts already, especially if you do them standing. So when you do these, when you do like the hanging or what do you call it, hanging knee or leg raises, it target like your lower abs, which don't really get hit as often. But if you want to, if you like these, do like the cable crunches, do like weighted crunches and planks, but I just like to keep things super simple. And last but not least, arms. If you find that they're liking like mine, definitely include them in. If you don't really care, if you just want the lean look, these movements will hit them just fine. But if you want to get bigger, like I'm currently doing bicep curls. This is a cable curl, like an example, but you can also do like easy bar, barbell curls. You can do preacher curls. Triceps, these are the overhead extensions. I do these right as I like these. These are my favorite movements for triceps at the moment. But if you like skull crushes with like a dumbbell, if you like other stuff, give it a try. Lateral raises, I would most definitely include these. They'll make your shoulders pop out more, make them look more defined overall. So if you're gonna do any sort of isolation, I would say start off with the lateral raises and include these if you really want to. All right, so now we got the lower and the upper body stuff movements out the way. Now let's move on to the actual split, the magic split that I am having gatekeeping all this time. No, not really. But I work out 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as you can see, these workouts only take me like 55, 56 minutes. What was that? Like, didn't put it right there. Yeah, 55, 50 minutes. So it's really not that long. And how I make this workout go faster is that I'll combine two of the workouts. So you're gonna get a lot of sauce in this video, but what I do is like a quote unquote superset. It's not really a superset for these compounds, as I'm not doing these like back to back. Like for the bench press and the barbell row, well, I don't really superset these, but for like the overhead press and the zercher squats, I don't like do like the zercher squats and go to almost a failure and then I go over there. That would kill my recovery for like the next one. I won't be able to lift as heavy. What I usually do is that I'll do like a couple sets of I'll do my first set of this and then I'll rest for like 90 seconds and then I'll move on to the overhead press and then do that and then rest for 90 seconds. And that usually totals to about, like 3 to 5 minutes of rest time in between each of the ones, because you're doing like the 90 seconds and then you're resting for a bit. Or like you're doing like the 90 seconds rest and then you're like doing the movement for like a minute or so. And, that usually totals to about like 3 minutes. So that's how I save a lot of time. On top of the actual supersets of the isolations, like if I have at least 2 isolation movements, I'll like superset these. On this day I have 3, so I just keep the dumbbells and like just combine these 2 together. I do like the same as I do like the overhead press and the zercher squats. What that does is like for like the isolations, I just go straight on. So like I'll do like a set of the face pulls, and then with no rest in between, I'll like quickly like move down the like the little like cable, and then I'll do a set of the overhead extension, then rest for like a minute and repeat. Sometimes I don't even like rest in between like after each one if I'm really like down on time. So those are like little tips that you can use for like some time savers. On Monday, what I do for my actual movements is I'll do my horizontal push, which is my bench press. I'll do a horizontal pull, which is my row. I've recently in this block, I'm going to stop doing these and just see like how much of a difference it's going to make. But I really don't think that these make too much of a difference in my physique, nor like are they really useful. I really think that they might just be fluff in my training that I've been doing. It may have helped when I was running more, but right now I'm not really focused on competing and running as much as I used to be. So I might just drop these down and see if that really makes a difference or not, and maybe add them in the future if I really want to. I've been incorporating incline dumbbells more often as well, just to build up the upper chest. And then isolations, I'll do a face pull, an overhead extension, carry. Kind of like been on and off with these. I'll try to get these when I can, but I don't really track them as much. I kind of just do them just for like fun. It's like cool to like carry like heavy stuff in your hands, and it's good like training just to get like your grip strength down. If you're ever going to carry the groceries in one go, I'll include a carry in there. Core, again, I don't really track these. I kind of just throw them at the end of the exercise, and I just maybe I could start tracking these and I would see more progress, but I don't know. I really don't really care too much about these at this moment, but maybe I can be more intentful. What I do know is at least I've gotten from knee raises to leg raises, so I have seen some improvement in that. Wednesday, I will do a Zercher squat, overhead press, do these two movements. I'll do like I said in the example, I will do this, rest for like 90 seconds, move on to this, rest for 90 seconds until I repeat. Then I'll do chin-ups, and I've been doing my walking lunges, but again, this week I stopped doing them just to see if it's really worth doing or not. I don't think it's so. Like my legs are already like pretty thick, so I just kind of care more about maintaining. If you want to build up your legs, these are a great workout for that. Just getting more like leg volume in, as like the squats and the RDLs may not be the most for like your quads and whatnot. And then we got this isolation superset. I do the same thing as Monday, the face pulls and the overhead tricep extension, and do that. And then I got another superset here, which is the like the lat. So like I changed them midway through like this block. So I went from rope pushdowns and cable curls to lateral raises and bicep curls. So on this day, I'll do my first isolation workout for superset being face pulls and overhead tricep extensions. Second isolation is the lateral raise and then the bicep curls. Finally, core. I've been really bad at this. I'm not going to lie about doing like the RKC planks, but these feel like really good for the abs. So when I do them, I do feel like pretty good. So that's my Wednesday workout. Monday and Wednesday are covered. And now finally we've got my Friday workout. Friday, I start off with a deadlift. I used to do conventional, but again, like I said, it just takes way too much energy. And honestly, I just got sick of them. I wasn't really progressing and I just wasn't really enjoying them. And they take forever to set up too, compared to the RDL, where I put them on like those like safety bars and I'm able to like get the plates on and off a lot easier than having to like get the plates on and off like the ground, like I do with the conventional. Plus, I just feel like less tired and I just enjoy the RDL more. So highly recommend these. Then I'll go on to I'll do like pull-ups as well. And then I'll do incline dumbbell press, a dumbbell row, and lateral raises and barbell curls. Well, machine curls in the first block, but the next block I'll be doing next week is like barbell curls, and try that out. And more knee raises. So a very, very simple plan, but that's what I enjoy. It's got all the exercises listed up here, or all the movements I listed up here. I do my Zercher squat, I do my RDL, the barbell one. Not doing lunges anymore. I'm doing both these bench presses. I'm doing a flat barbell and a dumbbell incline just to maximize chest growth, maximize like that movement. Overhead press, I'll do like once a week. I'll do the barbell, do pull-ups, chin-ups. Maybe I can start doing lat pull-downs in the future, but I think for now I just like doing these as it's just simple. Rows, I did a pendlay row last block, but I think now I might do a bent over back row. And maybe a seated row in the future too, just to see how that feels. Abs, like I said, laying or hanging knee raises. And then arms, I'll do bicep curls and tricep extensions and my lateral raises. A very, very simple plan, but it's easy to stick to. I enjoy it. So if you're looking for a plan, maybe you can try this out. The whole philosophy with like the reps is I start off like the 2 exercises and like the lower rep scheme, and like the next with like the middle rep scheme, and then like the highest like 10 to 12. I'm experimenting more with like lower volume training, like as you can see here, like the 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and I might try doing like 6 to 8 or like even like 8 to 10 for my isolations, which I'm actually doing like in this next block here, just to see like what that does, because I'm always trying to find ways to minimize the workout to do to like get like the gains that I want. So if I don't have to do like 10 to 12 3 sets of that, I'm not going to do it. I want to make this as minimal as possible, but enjoyable, where I know I'm going to get like a hard, intense, heavy workout, but at the same time, it's not full of like fluff. I might also try doing only 2 sets of these and see if I can progress. And if not, keep the 3 sets. And how I use progressive overload, and I'll just break this down here. As you can see, I've been pretty good, except like my bench press started to plateau. So now this week I took a deload as I just couldn't get like the weight up. And same thing from like my other lifts as well. What I've noticed is like every 6th week, I start to regress. I don't know what it is, and I know other people have this issue too, but like it's like some like magic thing where like week 6 is like this week where people tend to like plateau. And I forgot about it. And last week, I actually had like a pretty like bad lifting week. Like all my lifts just weren't going up. I just felt like fatigued. As you can see here, I wrote down I was like neurologically like fatigued on like the overhead press. I could only do like 2 sets. So what I recommend is every 6th week, for like what I do for my training is I just have a deload week. This week was my week 7, but now going forward, I'm going to try every single like 6th week. Maybe for you, it's every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks. But the second that I feel like fatigued more than usual, even though I know that I've been like recovering pretty good and like the lifts are stalling out, that's why I'll take a deload week. And all that you do for a deload week is that you just cut like the weight in half. And I do like similar, if not lower reps. You know, it's not supposed to be fatiguing. It's just supposed to, like keep like the engine lubricated. You know, you're just trying to like maintain. You're still like doing like the movements, but you're not like, you shouldn't be like grunting and getting close to failure. And speaking of failure, as you probably know, like you're supposed to lift close to it. So with my reps, I take them all between like 0 to 2. On isolations, it's more like 0 to 1, but on like compound movements where, you know, it's a lot, you can like load up the bar a lot heavier. It's usually like 1 to 2. And how you know if you're in like 1 rep in reserve or like 1 rep from failure is that if you were to have a spotter on, let's say, the bench press, and you got that last one, and you know you can probably do 1 more, but you would need like a spotter or something to help you out, then that's like your 1 rep like in reserve. That's how I would see it. You know, where you know you can probably do 1 more, but you could probably fail it or like it wouldn't go up without like someone helping you like pull it up. And how I progress is, you know, like another big thing about like getting stronger and like making progress in the gym is that you want to keep getting stronger and overall in the gym. And how you do that is through progressive overload. So I have these 4 to 6 rep ranges. On this week, I started off at 185 and I got 3 sets of 6 easy, which told me like, okay, I could probably increase the weight by like 5-10 pounds. I got pretty cocky and I said, okay, let's do like 195 pounds. And I got 5 reps. So I felt even better. Like, okay, how about 205? And as you can see here, it went pretty low. So maybe in the future, I can probably not jump up the numbers so high too fast. You know, try to like keep my ego in check and try to keep the weight within like 2.5 to like 5 pounds in the future. And then here, as you can see, well, let's use this example instead. As you can see here, I was getting like 40 for like 2 sets of 8. And I got that and I just put up like the weights, and then I got 45 for 8, 50 for 7. You know, the weight or the reps are always going up. And the second I get to like this top end of like the rep range, I know I can increase the weight by like 5 to 10 pounds. That's the best way I can describe it. As long as the weight's going up, as long as the reps are going up, you are progressing the gym, you are building muscle. That's the main thing. And what most guys tend to get wrong, like I got this wrong too, was when I was lifting 5 to 7 days a week, that I wasn't really tracking my lifts as much at the same time. Because I didn't care about being intentful in the gym, because I was like, oh man, I have to work out tomorrow. I'm dreading this. It's gonna suck. I'm just gonna go in there and like crush it out. And that's why I probably plateaued as well, is that I wasn't tracking my lifts. But when you work out like 2, 3, 4 days a week, it's a lot easier to be like more intentful, to like want to max out on your lifts and be like, oh, okay, this is actually exciting. I'm like looking forward to going to the gym and tracking my lifts and whatnot. You know, it's more of a thing to like look forward to rather than something that you have to like dread the next day. So whenever you go to the gym, you know, try to track your lifts something like this. Like this may look like ancient hieroglyphics, but write it in a way that makes sense to you. Like when I write down like 205, 4 for 185 for 6, that means I did like 2 sets of 205 for 4 reps, and I did 1 set of 185 for 6 reps. You know, this is my crappy week right here when I knew I needed a deload. I just couldn't get the numbers up. And there you have it. I believe I kind of described everything that, you know, of what my program is. I just keep things as simple as possible. I'm in and out of the gym within 60 minutes. I try to combine lifts when I can and still like recovering. Like I'm not going to like do a RDL and then go straight to like a pull-up or something. No, I'm going to like rest for a little bit and then go into the pull-up, rest after that, go back to the main movement, and then go on to like the next thing. And that just saves me so much time. I'm in and out of the gym, and I'm still progressing weekly, which I didn't think was possible when I was lifting 5 to 7 days a week, but it is possible. I hope you found this video helpful and valuable, and you took some notes on this as well, because if I was in your position, lifting 5 to 7 days a week, I definitely would want something like this, someone to tell me like, hey, I don't need to be putting all this work and effort. I can still enjoy my lifestyle, still have fun, still have like still like volume. You're making more and like Because when you train with intent versus just like sheer like brute force and volume, you can still make some pretty good progress, if not better than you would have beforehand. Just like my story here, going from like where I was back then, 5 to 7 days a week, to like now, for like a lot less lifting, but making a lot more results. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you want help making like a customized training plan, if you need coaching, and if you're done training hard with minimal results and you're interested in one-on-one coaching to build a body and structure to perform at your highest in all areas of life, book or call me, first link down below.